Next, we have Pratik Sinha with us, who will be speaking about fighting authoritarianism with FOSS, who is the co-founder and editor at Alt News. Pratik Sinha is a co-founder of Alt News, an informative verification and media watchdog website from India. He worked as a software engineer for around 14 years before founding Alt News. He combines varied disciplines such as journalism, engineering, and activism to design and execute solutions to elevate the issues in the information ecosystems in India. Can we have a cheers for the speaker? Thank you.
Thank you very much for FOSS United to, they've allowed me this platform to come here. This is, I typically don't speak on these platforms. I typically speak on journalistic platforms, activist platforms, etc. So it's not very often that I come before a bunch of software engineers and get a chance to speak. But I thought it was necessary because, the part of the world I have been dealing with, just sort of to briefly introduce what sort of I and the organization I'm associated with. I'm associated with an organization called Alt News. We are a 7-year-old organization. We started, two of us started, me and Mohammed Zubair. I'm Pratik Sinha. And this was about 7 years ago. Both of us were engineers. Zubair was working in Nokia. I was working in a bunch of companies, mostly working on Wi-Fi drivers and all of that. My work was mostly on Linux. Back then, I started my engineering career I did my engineering here in Bangalore, and then Abhas, who was a speaker, earlier this afternoon, I found him and I started working with him for a bit in my 4th semester. So basically, even back in 2001, I was trying to do some open source stuff. And then that journey led me to, working on, I have some colleagues here, Amit is here, who I've worked with in the past. So it led me to an engineering career for, about 14 years of engineering career. I worked in the US, I worked in Vietnam. I come back in 2013. And that is when I start spending a lot of time on social media. And so one image came to me one day, while on social media, that there's an image which is showing violence. That is, we see a lot of violence on social media. This was yet another image which was showing someone beating up someone and claiming that this image is from India. This was back in 2013. I, Google, I used a few keyword search to see, is anything like this happening in India at this point of time? It was claiming that one political party, members of one political party are beating up members of another political party. So I searched and I couldn't find anything. Then I did back then, the reverse image search in Google was, hidden somewhere. So I went there, did a reverse image search, and that image was from Bangladesh. It was not from India. This was back in 2013. I wrote a small article. Some of this continued. At this point of time, I was still a software engineer. And then around 2017, Zubair and I were already friends. Around 2017, both of us came together. I have only 25 minutes, so I don't want to go into the whole journey. But both of us came together, and we thought that both are extremely interested in what is happening in the socio-political sphere in India. Both of us are engineers, and both of us have a certain set of skills, which the traditional journalists at that point did not. Now, many of them have developed certain skills. There are many fact-checking websites, but at that point in time, in 2016-17, the traditional journalists did not have those skills. And these are, this is not much, you figure out where a photo is from, you figure out where a video is from, how do you geolocate things, the tools needed to actually verify information or other misinformation which was out there are quite rudimentary, and anybody could learn it. Now, but as engineers do, we are a naive bunch. So we thought that we'll start a website, we will start fact-checking, and that is going to solve the problem of the world. And so we started a website. But we publish one article, two articles, 10 articles. At this point in time, we have published about 7,000 articles in the last, no, 4,000 articles, 4,000, 5,000 articles in the last 7 years. But the problem of misinformation is not going away anywhere. To the point that it is only increasing every single day. It is only our information ecosystem is only getting weaponized more and more every single day. So through this journey, starting off as a software engineer, through this journey of learning how to be a journalist, if I go back and read some of my earlier articles, I myself shudder, the kind of writing I had. But I learned, and I learned how to write and edit articles and all of that. And now I think, as Alt News, we do a reasonably good job of looking at the information ecosystem. We look at different aspects of it. We look at what is the misinformation out there. We have a WhatsApp tip line. There are many people who tag us, etc., and say, "Oh, can you check this?" Especially on Twitter. We document hate speech. There is as misinformation increases in the society, and especially when misinformation is targeted at communities, when it is used to target villainized communities, then what happens is that the community which is being targeted at some, it starts looking less and less human. You keep saying that, oh, this one community is bad, and you keep saying that over and over again through series of misinformation, saying that they are not good for the country. And again, the issue with minorities getting attacked is not unique to any country. We just saw what happened in Bangladesh, for example. We fact-checked a bunch of stories in Bangladesh, but the Hindu minorities in Bangladesh got attacked when the whole, when Sheikh Hasina had to sort of go away from the country and all of that. So the issue of minorities being villainized and attacked is not unique to any country. And but because now there has been a sustained period of misinformation for about last 10, 11 years, at some point about 3-4 years ago, we saw a shift. We saw a shift in the sense that people who were regularly putting out misinformation got radicalized to the point that now they are indulging in hate speech. And when that shift happened, I remember a few rallies which happened here in India where people were aghast that, oh, what's happening? But the other thing that was happening in the online sphere is also, we have done some stories. For example, in Haryana, a bunch of people, they will go to a mazar and they'll break the mazar and they will live stream it. There are about 5 million views on the video, and there are videos after videos, but the account is still active. Now, a video which has about 5 million views, even if we think that at least 5 people went and reported a video like that, where you can see clear violence, then you would think that, oh, why isn't Facebook taking it down? Because there is clear violence, and the moderation mechanism doesn't seem to be working. But this trend kept growing. Recently, just last week, a boy called Aryan Mishra was shot down in Haryana, and he was mistaken. He was a class 12 student going out, mistaken to be someone who's carrying beef. And a bunch of cow vigilantes, they followed him for 3 hours and then eventually shot him down. Now, if you look up this profile of this person who's presently been arrested, if you look him, it has been brought down on his Insta profile, Facebook profile, everything has been brought down. But if you look at the profile, then you will see that, again, this is the trend. That is using online medium to propagate hate. And while I'm making a case for India, because I'm standing in this forum, which is called FOSS United India, it is not any different in any other countries in the way our information ecosystem is being weaponized. So going back to this boy, Aryan Mishra, and the guy who killed him just about a week and a half ago, if you look at their Facebook profile, there are videos after videos after videos of them chasing vehicles, shooting at the vehicles, shooting at tires, and so on and so forth. So this is what is happening in the Indian online media. Now I want to sort of, this image on screen, I want to sort of take you all back to this. I don't know how many of you have seen this book, but there's a complete book on how uh, IBM and some other American companies worked with the Nazis till the last day, and provided services while the Holocaust was happening. Now, having studied engineering, having sort of, I'm quite passionate. I'm very, very passionate about technology. But at some point in this journey from being being an engineer to going to journalism, there has been a lot of disillusion as to what does technology stand for. So, and this is about whatever 70, 80 years earlier, but things have not changed. Things have not changed at all. Every year we have a major killing in some part of the world, and then one of the technology companies will come and say, "Oh, we are sorry. We know we were responsible for it, but we are sorry." So the whole Myanmar exodus, the way it happened was that the Myanmar military, they created pseudo pages in names of celebrities, etc., and they put out absolutely organized hate to the point, misinformation and hate to the point that the Rohingyas had to leave the country. But and then the violence happened in Sri Lanka, and again Facebook said, "Oh, we are sorry." People get killed, but "Oh, we are sorry." And this cycle repeats again and again, and it is again not limited to just Facebook. By the way, so while I'm on the subject of Facebook, this is one of the stories that we did about just before the elections. I have not put the video because it's a graphic video, but many of you might have heard of this person called Atiq Ahmed, who was shot down in UP. He was being accompanied by media, and on camera he was shot down. Now, we came across this Facebook page called Meme Express, which was using this exact video where a person is being shot down and asking for votes in the name of that. This was happening before elections. If you look at, about 30,000 rupees spent on one video, another 30,000 rupees spent on another video, 2 million plus views. So a video where a person is being shot down is being used as a Facebook advertisement and asking for votes. We wrote to Facebook. Facebook again said, "We are sorry, we are taking it down." Again, there has been now a lot of documentation as to how whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, hate speech is thriving, and these platforms are choosing not to do much about it, or in many cases, not to do anything about it. And this is not just about hate speech. For example, 2 weeks ago, we did a story on, there was a video about 4 or 5 minutes long where two individuals are having penetrative sex. It was on Instagram. It had 7 million views. Now, considering how young children are flocking to Instagram, I would think that at least 40% of those 7 million views are of children less than 15. So the issue is not just limited to hate speech, but the issue is limited to moderation of all kind. We keep writing to Facebook and Google and Twitter. Twitter, though, there's not even a single employee these days in India. Even if you have to say that, oh, there is hate speech on Twitter, even if you have to say that, look, what do we do with this rampant misinformation on Twitter, there is not a single employee that we can write to. Facebook and Google, at least there are some representatives who we write to, and we get some responses, but mostly the responses are in terms of one-line response saying that, "Oh, we are sorry, and we are taking it down." Now, it is in a country of 1.4 billion, where we are producing just crazy amount of content that we are producing. It's only because something has 7 million views, 5 million views, 6 million views, that actually we notice it, because it has gone so viral that it has come to our doorstep, and then we write to Facebook that, "Oh, there is actually a live murder happening on your platform, and can you do something about it?" And they'll take it down. But there'll be many such instances where it is 200,000 views, 300,000 views, 400,000 views, maybe 20,000 views. We don't even get to know about it. This is happening all the time, and moderation has become a big issue. Uh, now, the reason why I'm here is that over time, this is what is happening on YouTube. YouTube is auto-generating videos which are, these are Hindutva pop videos, and they are asking for expulsion of Muslims. Ever since Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, at this point of time, in the last about 2 months, ever since the US elections are coming closer, there was a group which did a study as to how many times has Elon Musk tweeted misinformation and how many views it has gotten. And just in the last 2 months, the amount of misinformation Elon Musk has tweeted, the platform this world allows someone to get so much money and then has the tiniest of ego and ends up buying a platform just to satisfy their ego. And then this is what they do with the platform. That is, they themselves become the propagator of misinformation. In just last 2 months, about 1.2 billion views of misinformation from Elon Musk. So platform after platform, whether it is Facebook, whether it's Google, whether it is Twitter, our information systems are, at this point in time, controlled by monopolies which will not do anything about what is happening here. And the issue becomes especially worse when it comes to the global south. Whether it is India, whether it is Pakistan, whether it is Bangladesh, whether it's Myanmar, all of these countries, you might have seen Elon Musk sitting in the US Parliament answering questions. You might have seen before Elon, Jack sitting in US Parliament answering questions. You have seen Elon Musk and Jack sitting in Singapore Parliament and answering questions. But at no point has the world's, we are their largest market. And we will continue to be their largest market. We are the primary focus in terms of making revenue. At no point has any representative or any senior representative actually been questioned as to why this is happening in the country, as to why there's so much hate speech. And the answer to that is very clear as to why they have not been questioned, why hate speech has been allowed to fester. So then what do we do about it? In my opinion, this is a situation which is not going to go anywhere. Facebook is, if let's say somebody was selling scooters and the population increases, then you need more scooters in the country. So the company grows, the company makes more scooters, the company makes more profits. You buy its stock, all of that. There's a physical product. What Facebook is selling you is not a physical product. It is, Facebook is selling you a product where they want your attention. And because the only way their profits will increase, they're not selling scooters. So they can't just produce more scooters and sell more scooters so that they make more money. They are selling advertisements. And the only way that they will be able to sell more advertisements, and year on year, they have to show more profits. When at the end of the year, they have to show more profits. And that is only possible if they keep weaponizing their algorithms, their systems, so that we are stuck on the platforms, watching reels one after another, one after another, one after another for hours. Recently, I had gone to a school in Calcutta. I sort of live my life between Ahmedabad and Calcutta. So we've been going to certain schools in Calcutta, just asking the question, what are they watching? We don't know what our children are watching. And so just to be able to answer that question, we've been going to certain schools. We went to this, I won't name the school, but we went to this certain school, which was sort of mid-level. People were coming in blazers, children were coming in blazers, etc. Not extremely rich, but rich enough. And we were given access to about 80 students for over, I think, 3 hours every day. And we were allowed to sort of question them as to what they're watching. And we made small groups, and over 2 days we gained the confidence that no one is going to open up in just one sitting. So over 2 days, we happened to gain their confidence, and we realized that they are watching the most toxic stuff. Andrew Tate, all the boys there are watching Andrew Tate. And Andrew Tate, what is Andrew Tate saying? That women need to be subjugated, women need to be controlled, and all of that. And this is the kind of content that all these boys were watching. And they were, and the girls were sitting aghast. They know that the boys are watching this, but the girls were sitting aghast, just hearing these boys talk about it and be so passionate about it that, oh, Andrew Tate is the guy that we should follow. And this is class 7, class 8 I'm talking about. So what I'm attempting to say is that we have a huge problem at our hand, and our information ecosystem is controlled by organizations which will not do anything about it. They will not acknowledge it. They will not do anything about it. They will only acknowledge it. Time after time, we have seen that the acknowledgement comes only much after things have gone very, very wrong. And that is where I feel that the people in this room really need to step in. That is, we have to, the problem essentially, how many minutes do I have? 5, okay, sorry. I'll finish off fast. The problem is of accountability. None of these companies are accountable to us, and we need software, and we need our communication systems which are accountable to us. And, the problem is also centralization. For example, Elon Musk, for example, where is that slide? Okay, I can't find the slide. But Mark Zuckerberg at one point in time went to NBC and he was asked the question, why are politicians not being fact-checked? And he said that politicians are already overly scrutinized. So we will, Facebook has this fact-checking thing where, you get this cover on, if somebody is putting out false information and it gets fact-checked by one of their partners, then you get this small cover. And he was asked, why are politicians not being fact-checked? And Mark Zuckerberg said that politicians we are not allowing the platforms to fact-check politicians or their third-party fact-checkers to fact-check politicians because they are already overly scrutinized. Now, overly scrutinized, okay, there may be some scrutinization in the US, but what about the global south? So the problem is also the centralization of policy making, where all the policies are being made by organizations which are based in US and have absolutely no understanding of the global south. They don't know the nuance of hate speech that happens here. They don't know what dog whistling happens here. And that is the policy making that is happening. So it is in our interest. It is in our interest as Global South that at this point of time we really start figuring out our communication mechanisms, our communication systems, and build software to do that. And there is no better way to make accountable software than FOSS. And that is why everyone is here to say, oh, this is our software. I'm here to say that please make this software. So it's sort of that people who understand the issue, people who have skills, and people who have some time really need to come together and create things where our communication systems, we can regain control over our communication systems and not let it be weaponized, at the hands of ultra capitalists. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Pratik, for pointing out such things, and it was really an eye-opener. Yeah. Do we have any questions?
Are there
for
questions?
Pratik? Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for that talk. So I think the one side of the problem that you have highlighted is that the lack of accountability and control over social media corporations that have a vast user reach. But also to point out the other side of the problem is that when we talk about measures to contain the power of these corporations, that if you go into sort of government regulation, So we have also seen that being misused, that government tries to, put in, ask requests to take down posts that may be critical of the government. So between these two, so like where do you see the solution?
Neither. And we need to imagine a new solution. The solution, government regulation is not going to work. Government regulation, for example, recently India withdrew the broadcast bill, right? And in the broadcast bill, they were making a special case for influencer, quote unquote influencers, because mainstream media has been, doesn't hold the same sway as it used to once, and so people are flocking to other mediums to get information, etc. And that is when the government realized that, oh, we need to do something about the influencers, the YouTubers, and so on and so forth. So the answer is in neither. The answer is in imagining new systems. The present system, and this is a much considered thought, that the present system, the thought that, oh, Facebook, Twitter, Google, YouTube, etc., can be controlled through law or any which way, and that they will mend their ways, I don't think that's ever going to happen. So, and at the same point in time, if you leave it with the governments that, oh, they will bring in laws to regulate, this regulation is always a slippery slope. It is all, when it comes to freedom of speech and any kind of regulation, especially coming from the government, ideally, there should be self-regulation. Ideally, the platforms should have been self-regulating, which they are not. And that is when the government steps in that, oh, look, the platforms are not self-regulating, we will regulate them. And that is where the problem is, that when the government starts regulating, then the government regulates based on what speech they want outside and what they don't want.